All right, welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. The Ketan Agarwal murder case has shocked the country with its chilling allegations of love, betrayal and a meticulously planned crime. 26-year-old Pune-based realtor Ketan Agarwal lost his life after falling from a cliff at Lohagarh Fort on the 18th of June. What was initially believed to be a tragic accident later turned into a murder investigation after police claimed the fall was a part of a pre-planned conspiracy. Police have arrested Ketan's fiancée, Siya Goyal, and her alleged boyfriend, Chetan Chaudhary, accusing them of conspiring to kill him just months before their scheduled wedding. Investigators allege the duo carefully planned the murder, reportedly conducted rehearsals, used pre-decided signals, and even tried to evade digital surveillance to make the death appear as an accident. As the probe deepens, new revelations are emerging almost every day, from alleged evidence tampering to fresh forensic and digital clues. All right, we will talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the platform is Nirmal Kaur, former DGP, Jharkhand. Rakesh Kumar Singh, senior advocate of the Bombay High Court, is with us on the broadcast as well. Payal Jain, model and actress, and advocate Harish Daya, advocate of Supreme Court, also with us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. Nirmal Kaur ji, I'll begin with you. Ma'am, how do you look at this case? In fact, the police has done a great job by figuring out that this was a conspiracy to murder. What initially was suspected to be an accident turned out to be a pre-planned, calibrated murder. But this case has garnered immense amount of limelight within the country and to some extent outside as well. What has been your impression, ma'am, of this crime?
Definitely, this is a reflex falling visually for social values, the integration in the society, and the principles that govern social conduct. This is really a case earlier that case. But this, where I engage with marriage, there's no culture for to be involved. And she's pretending to belong all along, exploiting him, using him, and eventually kill him. So this shows that the values are deteriorated in the side of person, the bonds, the family, especially for girls who immediately to how to lead to very high liable of social possibilities, of rescue, all that is free. And a lot of privileges and individuals want, where they go around. It's a bit more individually and more part of the family, the relationship part of it.
Ma'am, there seems to be a problem with your connection, ma'am. We are not able to hear you correctly. If you could just log out and log in again. In the meantime, let me also rope in Mr. Rakesh Kumar Singh, senior advocate, Bombay High Court, into this conversation. Mr. Singh, I hope you can hear me, sir. Mr. Singh?
I can hear you.
All right, Mr. Singh, sir, your impressions of why this case has become so popular in India?
Why this case has become so popular? Just think of it. A 20-year-old girl taking a new leap in life, in the process of getting married to somebody, with her fiancé, goes to various trips, and one fine day we get to hear the news that she's the one who killed her fiancé, who was a suitable groom in all the way. So this itself is the very shocking news. This is something which as a society you cannot comprehend. So this is bound to be a shocking thing. But there are a couple of things which we as a society we need to understand. This is not a typical law and order case. This is not a case where law and order machinery can be blamed. This is a case where a girl who's supposed to get married to somebody kills him, and as the police FIR and various documents suggest, in collusion with her boyfriend. Now just think of it. The girl is just 20-year-old. And if she was not willing or ready to get married, she could have easily said no. So as a society, I think the first thing is that is very important is that we need to know when to say no, and also as a society, we need to know when to accept no. So a lot of stories are floating around where it is being said that the parents were aware about her relation with Mr. Chaudhary, and still they forced her to get engaged to Mr. Agarwal. So that is the vital. It's not a typical law and order problem. That's a vital issue. It's a social issue where, as a society, we have to learn to say no, and as a society, we have to learn to accept no. That is what I believe is the core of the problem.
All right, some breaking news coming in at this point in time. Ketan Agarwal, who was engaged and scheduled to marry in November, was pushed off the cliff by Siya Goyal and her boyfriend Chetan Chaudhary. The duo, aged 20 and 22 respectively, were arrested and are currently in police custody till Friday, seeking an extension of custody. The prosecution told the court that investigators needed more time to examine the phone-related evidence and determine whether any crucial information was deleted while the device was with Goyal. All right, Nilmar Kaur, former DGP, Jharkhand is with us. Ma'am, I hope I can hear you this time. Ma'am?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, much
Can
better.
you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, so ma'am, why, in your opinion, is this case so popular? What is it that rings a bell about this case? Also, ma'am, these two accused are 22 and 20-year-old. They have their whole life in front of them. A marriage should not have been a priority at this age.
Yeah, but her marriage was fixed by her parents, which apparently she did not like, and nor did she refuse the marriage. She should have said that I don't want to get married for whatever reasons it was to her parents, rather than kill Ketan, because that killing him, this is her aspirations as an individual. The social cementing, the social bonds, that are weakening now, that are deteriorating. Girls were supposed to be raised in a very docile manner, very non-interfering, accepting, to be respecting their in-laws, to look after all the duties of a daughter-in-law in the parental house, to be very, very obedient, very, very docile, very, very obsequious. But that is no more so. They are both very traditional family where girls, marriage is fixed at 20, has to be a very, very traditional family. She's not career minded, she's not trying for a career, nothing. That means the family has traditional values, very, very conservative values. And still the girl is so forward looking. She has a boyfriend. Not only does she have a boyfriend, instead of, saying no or her parents accepting her no, she goes ahead and kills the person she is engaged to. They're scheduled to get married, but that doesn't deter her. And she doesn't directly say no, but she, does a whole lot of passive things, like, destroying his passport when they're on their way to Bali. Like, earlier, first also on an earlier day also, she pushed him. And then she made an excuse saying, oh, there was a snake. And that boy, Ketan, went around, telling everyone happily that, oh, there was a snake and she saved me. While all along they were planning and plotting to kill him. And eventually they succeeded. I think kudos to the police that they gathered all the clues, the CCTV footage, the history, and they have formed, they have not only an FIR has been registered, but enough evidence has been gathered prima facie to arrest them, and they've been taken into police custody where more evidence will come out and the sequence of events can be laid and the case can be prosecuted. But it is not only a criminal case, it is also, our societal norms which are threatened. What is happening to our society? If the girls don't want to get married in an arranged marriage, then so should it be. And she's just 20. It's not that she's over the hill. She's 20. And she could have easily found, or maybe the parents could have gotten her married to Chetan himself, or whatever, whatever the family thing was, I don't know. But murder is such a cruel step. Apparently she did not like his looks. She did not like the fact that he stuttered. She did not like the fact that he was losing hair. All this added to her frustrations. But that could easily have been resolved by just saying no to the marriage. And that no should have been respected and honored by all concerned. Nor did she have the courage to say no, and nor did the parents kind of, take her consent or see to it that she's happy. She was playing along and doing all kinds of things with the ulterior end was only her ulterior motive was to kill him, which she succeeded in doing. So that is a very shocking case. It has really shocked the conscience of the nation and perhaps set new landmarks in this kind of, arranged marriage scenario where a girl's consent is as important or maybe more important than the boy's consent. Earlier, the girls would not say no, whoever the father, the parents brought, they would go along. And at best, they would say, oh, we don't like him. And the parents would normally acquiesce. But here it doesn't seem to be so. She didn't have the courage to tell her parents, and the parents did not kind of read her mind, and it resulted in a liaison, in a relationship that caused Ketan his life. That was very, very sad. Sad
All right, ma'am.
reflection on the
We have some more breaking news coming in. Well, we're learning that Ketan Agarwal had shared concerns with his family before his death, allegedly telling them that he had doubts about his fiancée Siya because she frequently mentioned Chetan Chaudhary. He reportedly said, and I quote, something doesn't feel right about her. All right, let me also rope in at this point in time Payal Jain, model and actress. Payal, I hope you can hear me. Thank you for joining us. Payal, we can't see you. Can you please straighten out your camera? Okay, Advocate Harsh Dahia is also with us on the program. Advocate Dahia, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you are audible, Vineet.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Harsh. Your impressions of how this case is going, and why is it so much in the limelight? What what is so imperative and wrong with this case that people ought to talk about it? Because there are certain things in this case which doesn't feel right even when you talk about it.
As rightly pointed out by Nirmal ji and Rakesh ji, this case has shaken the conscience of the country, because something of this sort was unheard of, 10 years back in our country. But we are seeing time and again from last 2-3 years that more and more such cases are coming in. As a advocate, what we have seen is that society is rapidly changing with the globalization, with internet, with democratization of internet, and people having access to western lifestyle through Instagram and everything so easily. One thing that has happened is that the society has changed, but I guess a lot of families are not understanding that their kids have changed with time. They have different aspirations. They don't want to possibly get married so early. So this is a very big societal issue, because I am seeing it closely as a practicing lawyer, that the institution of marriage is becoming very weak in this particular country. These cases were unheard of 10 to 15 years back, but now more and more such cases are coming in, and sometimes things are not this serious. Because this case is clearly very shocking, where the girl has gone to the extent of murdering her fiance rather than saying no. So that raises several questions on the family as well, because I have seen some videos that are going viral on social media. I was just using Twitter as well. There are videos of her partying and her going to parties, and possibly she has been seen with her boyfriend as well, watching some a cricket match. That is perfectly normal. She was possibly living a life that any teenager or a young kid in today's time and world would be living. But what is shocking is that the families claim that they were not aware that their child is having a boyfriend, or the kind of the pressure the family had on the kid, that she was unable to say no. So that raises more questions on the family rather than the kid, because she is a 20-year-old. She's equally at fault, but more questions need to be asked from the family, that what kind of atmosphere were they having at home, that Sia, rather than saying no, took such a drastic step of taking an innocent guy's life. Because as Advocate Rakesh ji clearly pointed out, that guy on paper looks perfect. He came from a rich family, he's well educated, he looks decently well. There are reports that he was wearing a patch of hair or some wig of that sorts, but that is no reason to murder someone. He was an innocent kid. He had all his life in front of him. So this case is clearly shocking, and it is a big societal issue that needs to be taken care of.
All right, we have some more breaking news coming in. But before that, let me also rope in Payal Jain into this conversation. Payal, I hope you can hear me now. Payal, are you there with us?
Yeah. I'm
Payal,
Payal Jain from
Payal,
Gurgaon.
obviously, whatever is available pertaining to this case is absolutely disturbing. And
Right.
Harsh has rightly said that this is also maligning and putting into disrepute the institution of marriage.
Right, you are. I'm really very shocked about this news. She is just 20 years old. All fault your both families. क्योंकि एक्चुअली दोनों फैमिली को ये चीज चेक करनी चाहिए थी कि उसके रूटीन क्या है क्या नहीं, एक पूरी लाइफ उनकी खराब कर दे दो फैमिली की. आई एम रियली वेरी वेरी अपसेट because they are adult. If she is 20 years old but both family are adults, तो उनको ये सोचना चाहिए था कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, एक फैमिली को जोड़ रहे हैं, किस टाइप की फैमिली है, कैसे बच्चे हैं, ये सब चीजें तो उनको जज करना चाहिए था ना, चेक करना चाहिए था. इतने तो एजुकेटेड हैं. इफ वो एजुकेटेड नहीं है तो वो लोग तो एजुकेटेड थे ना. एक पूरी फैमिली खराब हो गई दोनों की इन चीजों से कि उन्होंने चेक ही नहीं किया. और आई एम रियली वेरी शॉक के एक पूरा एक इनोसेंट पर्सन जो इतना भोला भाला लड़का इंटेलिजेंट, उसके ऊपर ऐसे ब्लेम लगाए जा रहे हैं कि ये नहीं है वो नहीं है, ऐसे था वो था. क्लियर केस है. आई डोंट नो कि ये लोग सोचते क्यों नहीं है कि क्लियर है, इसको खत्म करो. ये चीजों का सारी ब्लेम एक दूसरे पे डाल रहे हैं, वो ठीक नहीं है. ये सोसाइटी में ये सब चीजें नहीं चलती कि आप बिना चेक किए वो डांस कर रही हैं, ये कर रही हैं, फैमिली को नहीं पता. आई एम रियली वेरी अपसेट के मैं आई कांट बिलीव के लोग ये कहते हैं उनकी दोनों फैमिली के हमें नहीं पता था, हमें नहीं पता था. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि अगर आप जा रहे हो एक जगह पे, एक शादी कर रहे हो, तो उसकी पूरी फैमिली के बारे में आप मस्ट है कि आपको पूरी जानकारी लेनी चाहिए थी. और अगर लड़का है और उनकी फैमिली इतनी नोन है तो उनको ये सोचना चाहिए था कि हमें उनके बारे में सारा इंक्वायरी करनी है. एक फैमिली में आप मेंबर को लेके आ रहे हो और बहुत छोटी है वो लड़की, एटलीस्ट ये तो उनको इंक्वायरी करनी ही चाहिए थी. और रियली वेरी शॉकिंग के ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था. आई एम सो सॉरी, आई एम रियली स्पीचलेस एंड आई हैव नो वर्ड्स फॉर
All right.
फैमिलीज के उनके ऊपर
Let me
क्या
let me
बीत रही
also
होगी.
let me also bring in Nirmal Kaurji into this conversation again. Ma'am, what would be the takeaway according to you about this high-profile case?
The takeaway is that we are giving a lot of freedom to our girls these days. We are raising them to be independent, to think for themselves, to enjoy themselves. We give them freedom, we give them money, we allow them to go out at late hours or whatever was not acceptable 10 years ago at all by the families. But we are not monitoring them. Unsupervised money, unsupervised freedom for to a 20-year-old has no freedom. It's like giving right of vote to someone who doesn't know what electioneering is all about or values are all about. So this kind of unsupervised freedom, unsupervised money, unsupervised permission to go to dances or to bars or to clubs, wherever, that kind of a thing, the children need monitoring. She's just 20. She's not had experiences of life. And also when they gave her all the freedom in the world, gave her money, gave her good clothes or whatever it's required, why did they not give her the freedom to choose her life partner? Was he imposed on her? I mean, this marriage was being imposed on her. It looked like so, because otherwise, why wouldn't she just say no and walk away rather than kill him? Because taking someone's life for this kind of a thing is too much. I mean, everyone has a right to live. So had Ketan, and so has she and Chetan. But see, they're also young, too young. It feels bizarre. It's almost like I mean, It's not understandable at all what happened, how it happened. But definitely, it points to the fact that criminality is there in the society, and criminal mind is there. Both the way the both these Chetan and the girl, Siya, they plotted the murder, they executed the murder. They talked to their criminal minds and their criminal intent. And also there's one story going around in the media that she got 1 crore from Ketan saying that she wants to do shopping and passed on that money to Chetan. So that means she was exploiting the relationship also. She was not above it. She did not straight away say no because she perhaps wanted best of both the worlds. She wanted the money and the status and everything which Ketan promised or Ketan had. And she wanted also all the romance or whatever Chetan held for her. So that is what brought in all the differences and eventually, such an unfortunate outcome that Ketan died.